This video does not end until we win the Champions League with FC Copenhagen, something they have never managed to do in their 32-year history, and also not managed to do from the two clubs which formed FC Copenhagen in 1992, Copenhagen Boldklubben and Boldklubben 1903. Now, Copenhagen have been an extremely dominant side in Danish football over the last 32 years, winning 15 league titles, but taking that next step to be amongst the Europeans' elite has not been possible. So today, we're looking to rebuild Copenhagen into Champions League winners. Not only doing that, we're also going to be using the Moneyball method as well, signing players for cheap that have been smashing it in lower down divisions and seeing if we can make a super team here at Copenhagen. It's going to be difficult, but let's get into it. The squad here at Copenhagen is very, very strong. It is no surprise that we are the best team in the league. And we're looking at the profile. We've won it for the last 2 seasons in a row. Tonight, as I record this, they're actually in the Champions League against Manchester City in the round of 16, I believe, and have shown to be a fantastic club. Goalkeeper Kamil Gabara is an absolute superstar. He is off already to, I believe, Wolfsburg for £11.5 million, which, to be fair, is a sort of player that I would look to sell in Moneyball. He's going to perform very well. He's way too good for this division, and he's an absolutely fantastic goalkeeper. So he's going to be out the door. Kevin Dix at right back looks very good. We've got B. Melling at left back, Boylston and Kochevalovia in centre back, Rasmus Falk and William Clem in DM. Now, William Clem is one of the best centre mid wonder kids on the game. He is Danish. He is 19 years of age. He is consistent, and he's got some blue stats in pretty much everything you will need, which is absolutely brilliant. He is a superstar, and I'm sure he'll be leaving very quickly alongside Rooney Bargi. There is absolutely no way we keep this guy at the club beyond this season. He is an absolute superstar, pretty much one of the best wonder kids on FM, and has been smashing it in real life as well recently. So sadly, Rooney Bargi, we're going to have him for a year. Let's maybe win the Champions League year 1 to make this the easiest possible way. And Mohamed Elianusi, 28 years of age from Southampton. They have just signed him, an absolute superstar as well. Has been over at clubs like Basel, Celtic, Southampton, ripping up the Premier League, and he's now here in the Danish League as one of the best players in the league. And in Cam, we've also got Victor Claesson, 31 years of age. Has been at Copenhagen now for 2-3 years. He loves big matches, extremely consistent, and is right at the end of his shelf life. He's someone that I'll probably look to sell at the end of this season. Now, we have gone ahead and disabled the transfer window because I need to get all the stats for the Moneyball. So we're starting in July rather than starting in January like normal, because you have to get the correct stats. You know, we want everyone to be realistic and straight away from season 1 who we can sign in this Moneyball approach. So I have disabled the transfer window. We are starting in July. Hopefully by June 24, we should be able to crack on and go ahead and sign and sell some of our own players. And the striker here is Jordan Larson. He is a decent striker, nothing special, looks fairly average in my opinion, 26 years of age. Hopefully he can turn into something so we can sell him. The backups here are all fairly okay. We've got Emil Højlund, who's a fantastic young striker, looks exactly like his brother, who is absolutely smashing at the moment at United. 5 goals in 5, big up Rasmus. And obviously we have also got the superstar in Oscar Højlund as well. This guy looks fantastic and can again progress into being one of the best players here in the Danish league. You never know, he might move on to be a superstar later on down the rebuild, but it's going to be difficult to hold on to all these wonder kids. You know, it is wonder kid central here in Denmark. You don't go a day without finding a brand new superstar, so hopefully we can keep hold of them, and the more we can keep hold of them, the closer we will be to winning a Champions League. So let's get into it. Season 1 expectations: smash the league, win the Danish Cup, get knocked out in the round of 16 of the Champions League. That's going to be the case for a few years, so let's crack on. Well, this was a very enjoyable season. It's probably going to be one of the easiest seasons we have across this whole rebuild, because this Copenhagen side is just way too good. And this is the final of the Danish Cup, and an own goal gets us off to a very good start in 24 minutes before a nice bit of link-up play before with Elias Jellier and Claesson to find Rooney Bargi, batters it in the top bins. Rooney Bargi, fantastic. We didn't even touch on Jellier in that intro. He is also one of the best wonder kid wing-backs on the game, and is simply fantastic. Rasmus Falk, now a seasoned professional, bags it to make it 3-0, and it was a very easy victory against the second best team in Denmark, FC Midtjylland. We absolutely battered them and was very, very easy. And it wasn't the only thing that was very, very easy, because in the championship group in Denmark, you split into 2 sections. We finished on 80 points, and AGF finished on 56 points, level with Viborg and FC Norgesland, a very tight to get into that second place, but we absolutely smashed it. It was very, very easy for us, and the best thing, we didn't even have anyone in the top top goal scorer sheet, which means it was just an overall team dominating performance. Like I said, 80 points, 53 goal difference, 2 losses for the whole season, 5 draws, 84 goals, conceding just 31. I'm not going to big up this, formation, this team too much, because it is expected. We are probably spending a hell of a lot more than anyone else is if we actually check out the team detailed stats and go to salary. We are double of Midtjylland, which is what it is. We are the strongest team in Denmark by quite some distance. So this whole Danish journey is going to be very, very easy, but we have to go ahead and see if we can compete in the Champions League, which was very, very difficult this season. We got off to an awful start, finishing bottom of our group. Bayern Munich, Manchester United, SK Sturm even finished above us, and we finished bottom. 2 draws, 4 losses, 2 points. A absolute, wake-up call into what this is going to be like. We could absolutely smash Denmark, but be one of the worst teams in the Champions League. So it's going to be quite the rise to get this team from where it is today to being Champions League winners. Now, we've got £15 million in the bank, £150,000 in wage bill, but a lot of our players are wanted. Rooney Bargi, almost certainly going to be leaving the club. He's wanted by the likes of Spurs, Nice, Lazio, Villarreal, and is unhappy at the club. Mohamed Elyounoussi didn't play enough last season, looking to go. William Clem, wanted by a whole host of Premier League and German teams. Kevin Dix, wanted by Granada. Kemil Garaba also going and leaving the club. Elias Jeller, wanted by a whole host of Premier League sides, as well as Juventus and Napoli. So already we're going to be absolutely poached of all of our superstar players, and they're all going to be leaving the squad. In terms of our main goal scorer this season, it was Jordan Larson with 22 goals and 4 assists. But Rooney Bargi in a close second, 19 and 10. Elias Ashuri with 18 and 10. He is a 25-year-old international. He looks very, very decent, but with that sort of value, looking to get rid of him at that sort of age. So potentially leaving the club as well. Victor Claesson, 9 and 7. Diego Goncalves with 9 and 7. Biga Mealing with 9 and 5. Assists coming from William Clem, 16. 17 from our superstar wingback, Elias Jeller, as well. It's going to be an absolute ins and outs constant here at Copenhagen. We're not going to keep hold of anyone. Everyone's going to be leaving, and when we bring players in, they're going to go ahead and get like 7.5s in the league because we're going to absolutely walk it, and then they're going to leave. So we're going to have to try and build a team of passionate Copenhagen players that don't want to leave the club, which is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But this is where the fun starts. Excel, I know, not something I would normally say. It's not where I get my enjoyment from, especially not at work. But in FM, using the Moneyball, using this percentiles table and finding the best players by average rating or by goal scored or goals per 90 minutes, this is where the fun starts with Moneyball. Again, I've got a full video explaining exactly how to use Moneyball, so I'm not going to show you how I found the players in this. That is all in that video, but just know every single player we sign is pretty much going to be from this list, or if I find a wonder kid which is standing out to me as an absolute bargain, again, I'll be going ahead and signing them. Again, most likely to be sold for lots and lots of money. But let's get right into it. Moneyball trying transfer windows for season 1. Well, it's taken me all the way to the 11th of August to get this all done. And the Danish league kicks off in the middle of July. So we've already had 3 games into the season, a 5-2 victory, a 3-0 victory, and a 1-1 draw. But the transfers we have made have been incredibly, incredibly difficult. And that's because a lot of our superstars have left. We all knew that Kamil Grabara was leaving the club to head off to Wolfsburg for 11.5 million. And we all had a big old feeling that superstar Rooney Bargi would also be leaving. He's gone over to Wolves in the Premier League, where hopefully he absolutely smashes it. I might try and check on him in 5 years' time and see how good he's got, because he is a superstar. And our other absolute superstar in William Clem has left the club to go to Mallorca, which is a very weird and annoying move. And I've liked him to go much higher than this, but he wanted to leave the club. He refused to stay at the club, and he's gone for like £4.5 million. Overall, we raised £36.5 million worth of sales and brought in £13 million worth of players. And number 1 is Vladislav Vanyat. This guy's been over at Dynamo Kiev in Ukraine, 6 to 6.8 million worth of value. We signed him for 4.7. He scored 14 goals, got 2 player matches in 26 games last season over in Ukraine, and he looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. 6 foot tall, very strong left foot, fairly decent right foot, which means he's basically both footed. 16 finishing, 14 composure, great speed, and 17 determination. 22 years of age. I personally have never heard of this geezer. I probably should have, because he's got 10 caps for Ukraine, and that's probably not just in this save. He looks absolutely brilliant, and that sort of price could be a superstar for you guys to go and see and sort of pick up. Hopefully for us, we can keep him forever, because I think he is going to score pretty much 40 plus goals in every single season. Brand new left back is Josef Bakke. This guy is worth 1.1 to 2.7 million, paid 1.3 from ODD in the Eitresen in Norway. As a very good season last season, a decent start to life here over at Kobenhavn as well. As a 3-star player, 3-star potential, but was playing very well, needed a backup left back. He's consistent, he likes big matches, he's quite good at crossing and dribbling and can tackle as well. So as an attacking left back, that's pretty much what I need from you, Joseph. Please be a superstar. Our second signing from Ukraine, from Dynamo Kiev, is Maximin Diachuk. This guy is not a Ukrainian international, but is very aggressive, is very brave, has the holy trinity of defending, of 15 marking, 14 heading and 13 tackling, and very, very good in terms of his physical attributes. Signed for £3.5 million, dropped to 7.13 last season. Hopefully Diachuk can be a superstar for us in years to come. Probably just a backup for now, let's be honest, but someone that is going to come into the team and be a starter is Frank Canute. This guy looks absolutely brilliant. He's had 2 caps for Senegal. He is 25 years of age. We signed him from Partizan for 425,000, where he played 30 games, got 12 assists and dropped to 7.24 last season. You can see he's not got up to the fantastic start here at Kopenhagen, but hopefully he grows into it. He's consistent, he loves big matches, and as a ball midfielder on support in that role, he's aggressive, great tackling, blue in every single stat he needs to be in, which is stunning, and he gets forward as well. And as you've seen from this sort of this tactic in many highlights over the last few rebuilds, our central defensive midfielders are very, very aggressive. They are DMs on support and ball winners. They both get to the edge of the box. They both score lots and lots of goals, and hopefully this guy can do that for us as well. He should be absolutely brilliant, and a bargain as well at £2.3 million. Sebastian Hulsner is our next signing, a backup centre-back signed for 1.2 million. Very good over at IFK Gothenburg last season. They signed him from AGF in Denmark for just 350k, had 2 very good seasons and quadrupled their money. That's hopefully our goal in the future, to be the team selling this guy for £5 million. He's consistent, he likes big matches, very well rounded, very, very cheap, 24 years of age, simply a decent enough backup. And our last signing is a free signing released, I believe, from MK Dons as their goalkeeper. Actually, no, from Chelsea's been on loan at Gillingham, MK Dons, Oxford. Any guesses? Probably not. It's Jamie Cumming. This guy is 24 years of age. He's a 2.5-star goalkeeper and our replacement for Kamil Grabara. Now, his stats last season, albeit down in League One, were absolutely brilliant. 39 goals conceded in 45, just below the 7 average rating, but a very, very good performer nonetheless. 16 natural fitness, 16 reflexes, just 24 years of age, loves big matches, consistent. I think that's an absolute bargain. And certainly given the fact we sold Kabara for 11.5 million, he's going to come in and be our starting goalkeeper, with Kevin Dix at right back, Diachuk, Vavro, Mealing at the back 4, Falk and Kanuate as our backup DMs, Ashari, Jordan Larson, Diego Calves and Vladislav Vaniat up front. We have managed to keep hold of Elias Jeller, so to be honest, he's going to start 99% of the games at right back. You can see he's not wanted, and I'm not going to absolutely push him out the door. If we're going to sell him, I want 10 plus million for him, so he is staying at the club for this season. Theo Sander is a young backup goalkeeper. Ginvad, Hausner, Bakke, Johannesson, Oscar Højlund is now our backup DM, with Noah Sansa, Emil Højlund as our backup cam, Theo Jorgensen and Schimmelhack as our backup striker. Now, in terms of potential, we have got lots of players which are very, very high potential. Thomas Jorgensen, Elias Jeller, Alexander Schimmelhack, Oscar Højlund, all absolute superstars. And as we sort of head down into this as well, the players that are already starting to come through are an absolute joke. Ryan Labiad is someone that I believe is a regen. He looks absolutely fantastic. 16 years of age. I'm not going to be surprised if we see this guy in a few years' time in our first team. Cornelius Olsen, 18-year-old central defender, looks very, very good as well. Could potentially do a job in the first team right away. And this sort of regen and youth thing is just going to carry on, because at the club info here in Denmark and here in Copenhagen, 5-star youth recruitment, 3.5-star youth facilities, 3.5-star training facilities, 3.5-star reputation. And the final thing is the money as well, because in a Moneyball rebuild, I want to keep track of this. As we started, we were around £44 million. We're now up to £80 million. I'm sort of hoping we can become one of the richest clubs in the world by the end of this rebuild. No matter how long this takes me, we are going to be looking to win the Champions League. Now, this video could have been released last week when I didn't win the Champions League, but I thought, you know what? we're going to just keep on going until we win it. So let's get right into it. Season number 2. We're of course back in the Champions League. We're back hopefully winning the DBU Podkallen and D3F Superliga. So season number 2, let's see what we can win. This old Champions League malarkey is quite difficult, isn't it? Brand new phase now. We're into 2024, so we have the league phase, and we are knocked out in the league phase, finishing 26th with 2 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. 2 wins against Kobenhavn, Svezia, and Ajax. 3 draws against Juventus, Shakhtar, and Marseille, and then losing to Manchester City 4-0, to Bayern Munich 5-2, and to Porto 2-0. We actually just missed out on goal difference, 3 goals, so not getting battered by Bayern Munich and Man City like we did would have been very, very helpful. But sadly, we are out of the Champions League again in the league phase. Like I said, this isn't going to be an easy task, and just going ahead and winning the Champions League is not going to be something we do lightly. Winning the DBU Podkallen and the league is going to be very, very easy. 6-3 victory in the final against FC Midtjylland again. A Jordan Larson hat-trick, Elias Scheller goal, Rasmus Falk goal, and Diego Goncalves goal. Midtjylland were decent, but nowhere near good enough. And in the league, they weren't even the second best team. Of course, we absolutely smashed it. 71 points this season. Quite a drop-off from last year, but with a lot of players going like Rudy Barge, etc., it's to be expected. Brøndby, the second best team, Midtjylland in 3rd, and Nordsjælland in 4th. Now, Diego Goncalves this season was an absolute superstar. They signed him just a few years back from SL Benfica for £2.6 million, and this season he dropped 23 goals in 26 games with 7 assists for 7.51 average rating off that left-hand side. What an unbelievable season. He loves big matches. He's extremely consistent. And again, capping out at around a £10 million value is wanted by Stade de Reims in France. It'll be difficult to keep hold of him, but you know what? If he can keep bagging goals like that, I have good hope if we can keep him. The Champions League knockout stages are not too far away. Another player that's certainly going to help us get to that stage is going to be players like Jordan Larson, Vladislav Vaniat, who didn't have the greatest first season, just 17 goals in 34 games, but progressing very nicely and looking absolutely superb at just 23 years of age. Elias Ashuri, 10 in 10. Elias Scheller, guess what? Now he's wanted, 7 and 6, wanted by Brighton. So that's probably the last time we hear of Elias Scheller. Goodbye, Elias, because I guarantee you're gone. Magnus Mattsson, 7 and 6, 11 assists from Rasmus Falk. Brand new signing, Frank Canuate, picked up from that awful start. 5 goals and 8 assists in 33. What a signing he was. Birger Milling, 4 and 12, 10 assists for Isaacson, 4 assists for Oscar Højlund, who is now breaking in to the first team. I have trained him to be a deep defensive midfielder on support as well. He can't play that before this, so we have trained him to play in that position, because realistically, in this 4-2-3-1, he's not quite good enough to be our attacking midfielder on attack, but as a defensive mid on support, he has got some very, very good stats, and I think he can grow into this role very, very well. Just 20 years of age, he is wanted by the likes of Strasbourg and Brest, but hopefully we can keep hold of him. And where's his brother, Mr. Emil? He started just 1 game this season, wasn't very good, to be honest. Might go out on loan, might end up being sold. Certainly doesn't have the potential of either Oscar or Rasmus, because they are both absolutely fantastic. Sadly, Emil isn't quite going to reach that level, it looks like, here on FM, but you never know. One day we could have a front 3 of Oscar Højlund, Emil Højlund, and Rasmus Højlund all at United. Wouldn't that be good fun? Transfer budget, we're never going to spend it. £35 million, again, £300,000 in wage budget. Finances are up to £93 million. I'm not going to show you the finances every single year or the transfer budget, because to be honest, we're never going to be spending the full budget. We have got way too much money for the sort of caliber of players we can bring in, and obviously with it being a Moneyball rebuild, we don't want to go out and spend 25-30 million pounds on a player, because simply here in Denmark their value caps out at around £12 million. I haven't really sold anyone so far for more than that, and even a player like Diego Goncalves, who has dropped that many goals in the league, his budget is 9.5 to 11.5, so there is definitely sort of a limit of how much you can sell players for. So let's get into it. Season 3. Well, as expected, Diego Goncalves has left the club. He has gone over to Al Riyadh to earn £35,000 a week. It's simply something we cannot compete with. He's now got a value of £29 million. We managed to sell him for just 7.25, which is so frustrating. But once a club like Al Riyadh come in for him and you say no, Players kick up an absolute stink. So goodbye, Diego Goncalves. Thank you for a fantastic season last season, but hopefully, you know, we can recover from losing him. Backup right back Kevin Dix has left to go ahead and join Girona as well. He looked very, very good in the last few years. He's been a backup to Elias Jalert, but selling him for £4.6 million at 28 years of age makes a good amount of sense. And our only other major signing is Hunor Nemeth. This guy is an 18-year-old Hungarian youngster, which we sold for £3.1 million, which, to be honest, to me, just doesn't look good enough to break through. And apparently he's got a value of 11 to 16 million pounds. He just doesn't look good enough in my opinion. He's extremely consistent, but we've got players like Oscar Højlund, which hopefully we can keep at the club for a long, long time. And I don't think Nemeth is going to break through past them ones. And just one final thing, speaking of the Højlunds, Emil Højlund has left the club. He's gone to Genoa in Italy, so hopefully you can follow the path of Rasmus and go ahead and smash it. Good luck, Emil. Elias Jalert has stayed at the club. Again, not enough bids to come in. We did go ahead and sign a superstar in Danilo Vega. He's got 2.5-star current ability, 3-star potential, because I was absolutely sure Jalert was going to be leaving the club. He dropped a 7.07 this season, a 7.05 in the season before, and he's just a fantastic young right back for an absolute bargain from Rekia over in Croatia. He is consistent. He is very, very quick. He's also 6 foot tall, big and strong, and very, very good defensively. And very good on his right foot as well. Plays 1-2s, moves the ball to his right foot before attempting to dribble. I like him a hell of a lot, and he gets down the wing. And just £2.5 million was our most expensive signing. There's only two more, £1.8 million and £1.6 million. Martin Minchev is for £1.8 million, signed from, I believe, Rizespor over in Turkey for £1.8 million. He dropped a 7.08 average rating this season and looks like a very well-rounded Bulgarian international. 20 appearances and a goal. Consistent, loves big matches, very good physically, good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch, very good mentally as well. Pretty much either-footed. Hopefully can break out as a superstar. I've got high hopes for Martin Minchev because he's so well-rounded and has been absolutely smashing it at Rizespor. And in 2 games so far for us, hasn't scored a goal or got an assist, but a 7.05 average rating. So hopefully Big Martin can be a superstar. And our last signing is a very, very exciting one. £1.6 million from BK Häcken is Pontus Darbo. This guy is a 19-year-old Swedish youngster. He looks absolutely brilliant, and I'm actually going to develop him into a defensive midfielder on support as well, because I don't quite think he's going to break into that cam role. He probably could do, to be honest. He is very, very good all the way rounded, but we have got him trading this DM role, so he is more versatile. He can play very well in centre mid, and as a DM on support, like I've said, our defensive midfielders are extremely attacking, so he will certainly be very good there. He's consistent, 5-star potential, £1.6 million is an absolute bargain. Dropped 7.0s and above in the last 3 seasons, being a 17-year-old, 18, and now a 19-year-old. Incredible start to his career. Hopefully, you know, Champions League lights is where Pontus Darbo comes into his absolute realm. Our best team is looking like so. Jamie coming in goal. Elias Jalert now as a 4.5-star player at right back. He is still wanted, the likes of Brentford, Leeds, Inter, and Leipzig, but he's unhappy because he no longer feels wanted at the club, because I keep offering him out, because I can't be keeping a player like him at the club, but he never accepts any contracts. He just loves it here at Copenhagen. So we're going to keep offering him out and see if he goes, but I'll be honest, it's now the 3rd of August. He's not going to be going anywhere. Dennis Vavro and Sebastian Hulsner are now our 2 starting centre-backs. Hulsner, who we signed in Season 1. Bjerke Milling as our left-back. Kanatoe as our DM, next to Oscar Højlund, who is now our best DM at the club. Larson at right wing. Pontus Darbo in cam, Elias Ashuri at left wing, and Vladislav Mania up top. A very exciting Season 3 coming right up. Probably a Danish league and a Danish Cup to go ahead and win again. Maybe a Champions League knockout. That is the goal. Just get to the knockout stages. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we actually done it. We got to the knockout stages in the Champions League, and we faced up against Wolfsburg in that knockoff playoff round before the round of 16, because obviously we don't qualify for the top 8. And we faced against Wolfsburg, where our old goalkeeper Kamil Gabara was in goal, and he decided he was going to be quite nice to us in this first leg, tuning up and heading into the 90th minute. A ball into the back stick. Jordan Larson makes it 3, eventually falling to Vanya as Gabara tipped it straight into the middle of his 6-yard box. But it was Maxence Lacroix decided to stick it into the back of the net to make it 3-1. But a convincing first game at Wolfsburg. We might not only get to the knockout playoff round, we might win it. And of course, we've all seen how good that Danish crowd can be, and we take it back to our home stadium, and a goal from kneeling in 31 minutes. Gets us off to a fantastic start for Jordan Larsson. Knocks it back to Pontus Darboe, back into Jordan Larsson, drives into the box, blasts it in to Vladislav Vaniat, who makes it 2-0. 2 red cards in this game, 1 for each team. 2 injuries in the 88th minute in this game, but only one team is going to go ahead and qualify for the round of 16 of the Champions League. I'm absolutely buzzing. We've not got knocked out in the league phase, and we've also completed a goal of winning a game in the knockout playoff rounds, and we are into the round of 16. And what better place to go than go ahead and face up against the best team in the world, Real Madrid. Where of course they come to our stadium and get off to a fantastic start with Antonio Rudiger poking them a goal ahead. We get a red card, but that doesn't faze us as Pontus Darboe knocks it home to make it 1-0. An absolute limbs in the Kopenhagen end, until we have an absolute stinker. And Rodrigo pinched the ball for our centre-back, scores a goal, and it's 2-1 in this leg at our home stadium, and there's no point in hiding it. Of course, we go ahead to the Santiago Bernabeu and lose 1-0. A Jakub Plisowski goal to make them winners. Thibaut Courtois was actually man of the match, which showed we actually put up quite a good fight. Only a 3-1 loss on aggregate, but I tell you what, a very impressive, sort of first season we actually get past the league phase. We were very good. 3-1 in the round of 16 against the best team in the world is nothing to snub your nose up at. In the league phase, we actually finished in 9th place as well, just a point away from getting into that top 8. A 7 goal difference, 5 wins and 3 losses, 15 points. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting there. We are building a superstar team here at Copenhagen. And of course, we go ahead and win the 3F Superliga again. Looking at the championship group, back to 80 points, which is beautiful. 2 losses, 5 draws, 25 wins. It is 5 titles in a row for FC Copenhagen. Hopefully, we can keep adding to that ridiculous streak. One thing we're not going to be doing is adding to our Polken streak. We actually lost in the 4th round of this one to Odell Bense in the penalties, which is very annoying. FC Nordjylland went ahead and won it, and we broke our streak of 3 in a row, but we have to give someone else a trophy. So FC Nordjylland, so you're not absolutely starved of trophies, there you go. So a really good season, to be honest. We won the league, we got to round of 16 of the Champions League and done very well there. Vladislav Vaniat had an absolute breakout year, 41 starts, 30 goals and 3 assists. He is superb, and my favourite thing, he's not wanted either, so hopefully we can just keep him in the club for absolutely ages and he can be a superstar. Jordan Larsson, 19 goals and 10 assists, has been very well rounded and very mediocre but at a good level since the start of this rebuild. And another player which was an absolute standout this season is Martin Minchev. Now you guys can, all be honest, you didn't think we'd be getting a guy like this for £1.8 million. He would drop 14 goals and 14 assists, but using a little bit of knowledge, this guy was absolutely fantastic. And there's a bit of recommendation I had in the Porto rebuild we done using the Moneyball approach, is to just use players based on how they're playing in the game. Not only is it all about attributes. We've seen recently with FM, the sort of bug in the game where these physical specimens with 20 pace and 20 determination or whatever it was, there was 9 attributes which are massively overpowered. We've seen that, them absolute superstars, Zealand done massive tests on it, that they are absolutely broken and fantastic. But I still believe that actually performing well in game, and this game is very much built around morale and how players are playing. If they're on a hot streak, just keep playing them because they'll keep performing, and that seems to happen ahead of a lot. Attributes mean a lot, don't get me wrong, but as does sort of in-game actually how they're playing. And if they're playing well, just keep playing them. It's like they say with the likes of Mainu and Garnacho at United, they're playing well, keep putting them in the team. If they're good enough, they're old enough. Dennis Favreau with 10 goals as well from centre-back this season, probably someone I'm going to look to sell. 30 years of age, a value of 8.2 to 9.8 million pounds. Absolutely brilliant, but for that sort of money at that age, with the Moneyball approach, you have to be realistic and probably go ahead and sell him. And Pontus Darboe in that DM role, 9 goals and 7 assists. Yeller, still fantastic, 7 goals, 14 assists. He's now wanted by Lille, Nice, PSG, Real Madrid. Surely this is the season we say goodbye to him. Oscar Højlund was very good this year in DM as well. 5 goals and 10 assists. Absolutely brilliant. Breaking into a brilliant DM for us. And I'm very happy with that. Nice to get another Højlund on the map. And hopefully this guy can go on to be as good as Rasmus potentially will be as well. So producing some superstars, lots of money, finances looking brilliant, building a super team. Season 4, let's take another step backwards, of course, because Elias Jeller has finally left the club. He's now got a value of £32 million. We did manage to get the top end at 12.5 for him. but it's a big step back. We have lost our best player by quite some distance. He's consistent, he loves big matches, and if you guys have never picked him up in your saves, he is outrageously good. Go and sign Elias Yellow. He wasn't the only big sale this summer. Jordan Larson has been so well-rounded for us since the start of this rebuild. 59k over Al Fateh in Saudi. We cannot compete with that either. So goodbye, Jordan Larson. We managed to get £6.25 million for a 29-year-old international. Not too bad, to be honest, so goodbye to him. Elias Ashuri has been here from the very start, but when a club like Sevilla comes in for your players, who's been pretty much a bit part player, £5 million. Goodbye, Mr. Ashuri. Thank you for your services. And another big sale is Baja Milling. This guy's now 31 years of age. Has gone to Al Qasida. Guess where? In Saudi Arabia. £2.1 million, earning £76,000 a week. We just simply can't compete with this Saudi money. So goodbye, Baja Milling. And it made this sort of summer window very, very difficult to go ahead and bring in some players which were going to be of the quality of the likes of Larson and Gillett. Our number one signing is Fredrik Adrar. This guy has been signed from Stormskrat over in Norway. £1.1 million, dropped to 7.2 last season, as well as a 7.34 in the season before that at 18 and 19 years of age. I've got no idea what we can turn this guy into. He's very good off the left or in cam, but doesn't quite have the finishing. He's also got a weak right foot, so as an inside forward, he's not going to be the greatest, but for the value he is at, I think a player like this, I had to go ahead and sign. He's extremely consistent, quite a cheap value, but the signing we made of £1.1 million was also very, very cheap. And I'm excited to see what we can turn Fredrik into for that sort of price. Sven Sunta is the next player we have signed, a Slovenian 19-year-old cam. He starts his life over at Dynamo and last season dropped a 6.94, which was very, very good. We did find him from the Wonder Kid Scout, which I showed you at the very start that we are also doing, but he also performed very, very well. So good person to go ahead and bring. Has got a value of 1.4 to 7 million pounds. Quite a big sort of difference in there. He's extremely consistent. He's 5'10". He's very young. He's got 16 caps for the Slovenian 21. So it's going to be his breakout year, and hopefully he can help us massively in this season, because we really, really need him. And we also need an absolute superstar in Bruno Zappelli. This guy starts his career over in Argentina at Belgrano. In this save has moved to Athletic Paranaense in Brazil for 3.6 million, where he has been fantastic. And we've signed him for just 1.6 million pounds, and his stats are fantastic. 16 dribbling, 16 passing, 16 technique, 16 flair, 5'11". I can't quite believe how cheap this guy is, and his value is also ridiculously cheap. I don't know if I'm missing something. Has he got a bad personality? No, he's consistent. He doesn't love big matches, but at that sort of price is an absolute bargain. So welcome in Bruno Zappelli, and there is only 2 more signings to feast your eyes on. Attacking Lithuanian left back Artemis Tzakskinius is our new left back, if that's a good pronunciation. Who knows? I hope it wasn't too bad for anyone Lithuanian who's watching that one. 16 natural fitness, very good all around, 16 tackling. Just a 2 penalty taken, so we'll keep him off that. But he's consistent. He likes big matches and has been signed from LKZ Lodz in Poland. I believe that's where he is in real life as well. £115,000 is all we spent on him. 7 average ratings in the 2nd division of Poland and now in the top division as well. So has proven himself at a decent level. He's a leading League 1 division, which I believe is the championship of the Danish league, so hopefully he can be good for us. Who knows? He's going to look okay. He's young. Hopefully he can be good. An absolute bargain at 115k nevertheless. And Voj Seframovic from Kuchakari in Serbia. Again, please bless me with the pronunciations. I am not the greatest at them. This guy's got 17 determination, 15 heading, 12 marking, 12 tackling, and a very good 16 jump and reach as well. Left-footed centre-back, also very difficult to come by. He is consistent, and again, signed for just £600,000. A very, very cheap one to go ahead and bring in. I mean, it leaves the team looking like so. It looks quite different to last season, and certainly not as good. Jamie Cumming is still in goal. Danilo Vega as our right back with Holstner and Seframovic at centre-back. Tutskinius at left-back with Darbo and Oscar Hoyland in DM is a very exciting young DM partnership. Martin Minchev right-wing, Ardra in left-wing, Sunta in cam, and Vanya up top. It definitely feels like we've taken a big old step back in terms of our starting 11 in this season, which is very frustrating, but just is what it's like managing in Denmark. The lucky thing is we've got lots of players with 5-star potential, which hopefully are going to come through and be absolute superstars. Someone like Alexander Sorensen has come through the academy, looks looks absolutely brilliant. We looked at Ryan Labiad just a few weeks ago, or 3 years ago actually as well, and he's coming through now, 18 years of age, looks very, very good, very, very good physically as well. And there's more, there's so many more, all 5-star potentials in the under-19s. Players still looking to leave the club. There's a few players with bids on. Dennis Vavro, 30 years of age, we're still looking to sell. There is a bid on him of £7 million from Norwich and Shakhtar. So hopefully some more money coming in, but this is going to be a bigger test this season. Are we even going to win the Danish league? I'm actually not confident. Well, maybe I should have been more confident in my team, because we finished 5th in the Champions League phase with 8 games, 6 wins against the likes of Borussia Dortmund 4-1, Ajax 7-1, Dynamo 3-1, Besiktas 2-0, Feyenoord 4-1, and Shakhtar 2-0. What a performance in the Champions League. In just 2 losses, a 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich, and away against Benfica, a 5-2 battering. But that means we don't have to faff about in the knockout playoff round. We go straight in to the round of 16 when we faced up against Athletic Bilbao, who, by the way, massive respect to them to get into this level as well, because we all know they're from the Basque region. They can only sign players from that region, which means, you know, their own personal rebuild is very, very difficult, but they are hopefully not going to stand in our way. Now, the first leg against them got off to a 2-0 loss, and we took it back to our stadium, where Pontus Darboe got us off to a fantastic start in just a minute, and just a minute later, being 3 minutes on the clock, Danilo Vega, an absolute mazy run, gets us to level peggings, 2-2 at this stage. Joseph Bakke finds it into Sven Sunter, back to Joseph Bakke, to Martin Minchev, who gets a ball into Sven Sunter, who was an unbelievable signing to make it 3-2 on aggregate. Pontus Darboe finds Danilo down the right-hand side. He's going to go ahead and whip it in to Sven Sunter to make it 4-2 on aggregate. We are absolutely smashing it, but Athletic Bilbao were not done that. A misplaced pass. Alex Berenguer smashing it into the back of the net to make it 4-3. Oscar Højlund down the left-hand side finds Joseph Bakke back into Frank Kanoate, and he batters it home for 5-3. And in the 89th minute, Athletic Bilbao make it a close affair. Just a goal difference as Yare finds Ase Velabra. But guess what? It wasn't enough, and we are through the round of 16. Again, a 5-2 victory against Athletic Bilbao, meaning we're into the quarter-finals of the Champions League in Season 4. What a growth this has been. Our team for this game: Jamie Cumming, Danilo Vega, Joseph Bakke, Hausner, and Diachuk, someone we signed at the start of the save as well. Oscar Højlund and Frank Kanoate, Pontus Darboe on the right, Minchev on the left, Sunter in cam with Vladislav Vanya up top. We have built a Moneyball superstar team, but it was all going to be coming down into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, where of course we faced up against FC Barcelona, where Sven Sunter got us off to an unbelievable start in our own ground, gets us off to a 1-0 lead in just 1 minute, but it was all too good to be true. And Asensio free kick finding the top bins, meaning Jamie Cumming couldn't quite find that one. Frankie de Jong finds Robert Lewandowski to find Ansu Fati to make it 2-1 in this one. And a little bit of misdirection, because we were actually already losing in this one. Over at the new camp, we got absolutely battered 4-1. I think 6-2 on aggregate. A little bit disappointing, but the quarterfinals of the Champions League is very, very impressive. And we also went ahead and went back into our favourite competition, the DBU Pokalen, and went ahead and got back our trophy, a 4-1 victory against AJF. We smashed the Champions League. We get back our Pokalen, a fantastic victory, a brace from Oscar Højlund, Danilo Vega in the goal, and that man Sven Sunter again with the goal to make it 4-1. And of course, if we're going to go ahead and do that one in the Champions League and win the cup, we're going to go ahead and win our league as well, which is wonderful to see. 69 points, again, much closer, but keeping up our streak of trophies, 6 in a row. I am absolutely buzzing. We have gone ahead and actually got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League with FC Kobenhavn. I can't quite believe it. There is still quite some way to go. 6-2 on aggregate to Barcelona is a big old defeat, but we are showing ourselves to be one of the better teams in Europe now. We're getting there. We're building a superstar team using this Moneyball approach, and I have to just show you, because it's quite difficult to show you at the start, but the money we're making: 34.5 million sold last season, 700k coming in. 17.5 million sold, 10 million coming in. 36.5 million sold, 15 coming in, and 10 million sold there as well. Finances wise, we're up to 176 million. We've got 70 million pounds to spend and a 1 million pound wage budget. The boards are just all about giving us as much money as it takes to maybe reach that next level. Who knows? But Vladislav Vaniat scored 28 goals this season and 3 assists. Still not wanted, which is absolutely beautiful. So keep staying here, keep scoring me loads and loads of goals. Sven Sunter is wanted, which I'm not surprised about. He's wanted by Al Arab and Altai. He scored 26 goals and got 18 assists. What on earth is that for a season for a 20-year-old Slovenian this first season? Unbelievable. I've never heard of him. If you guys go ahead and sign him on your saves, I'm sure he'll be an absolute superstar for you. Martin Minchev, remember the Bulgarian we signed for £1.8 million, 20 goals, 11 assists, absolute superstar. Pontus Darbo, 11 and 13. Frederick Ardara, I didn't think this guy was going to be very good, to be honest. 26 games, 7 goals and 7 assists. Very, very happy with him. Ryan Alabayad, the guy that's come through the academy, 6 and 5 in 8 starts, and starting to become a very, very good player. The growth we are seeing from our players as well is pretty outrageous. This guy's got 12 determination, now 12 finishing, 12 dribbling, 13 aggression, 12 determination, unbelievable physicals. And again, I have said a few times the way I like to grow my players. If we look at his attributes over the all time, this guy's growing at such a high rate, 4s and 3s across the boards in just 2 years time. And I believe that is genuinely because we have got him up in the first team and available for selection for the under-19s as well. So he goes ahead and he plays 39 games non-competitively, scores 29 goals and gets 8 assists, and also trains for the first team, plays first team games when he can, which means he is at the best of his training facilities. He is playing lots and lots of football, and he's, developing very, very well. And again, if you're struggling to develop your wonder kids, do that. Get him in the first team, get him playing for the under-19s. If you don't know how to do that, you head to development, available for under-19 squad, 90 minutes, and just have them train away. They will grow an outrageous amount. And believe it or not, he's not the only one with that ridiculous potential, because Peter Vladson, Nicholas Eriksson, Jakob Jensen, Jonathan Morsgaard, Alexander Sorensen, and Nicholas Vass are all of the exact same ilk, under 18 years of age, up in the first team, training, but playing lots of games with the young Wonder Kids as well. So we're developing players at a ridiculous rate. Players are coming through the academy. One person I've not really touched on, which I feel a bit bad that I've not developed him, Alexander Simmelhack. This guy's got a 5-star potential in real life. He's actually on loan at AC Milan. He looks brilliant. We haven't used him. He's not quite as good as Vladislav Vaniat, and it's very hard for him to break into the team. He's 6'3". He's more of a target forward. He doesn't really suit us, but hopefully this guy can become great in real life. I feel a bit bad we haven't developed him, but sorry, Alexander. I'm sure you'll be a superstar one day. Let's get into it. Season 5, so much money, so much potential. What signings can we make? And more importantly, who are we going to lose? Well, we managed up making a tidy £300,000 profit on Bruno Zappelli. This guy, for some reason, didn't play at all last season, even though his stats are this good. We sold him for £1.9 million. He's gone to play for Plymouth. I simply don't know why this guy doesn't get game time when you simulate. I didn't want to lock him in position because someone like Sven Sunjat deserved to play. But if you guys have never seen this guy before, go and find him. Like I said, Belgrano, I believe, on your saves over in Argentina. Make him a superstar, because he genuinely could be an unbelievable player for you. 1.6 million or 1.9 million pounds we ended up selling him for. And he wasn't the only sale we made this season. There was actually quite a few. Sebastian Horstner, the guy we signed at the very start of this rebuild for 1.2 million pounds, has gone to Damak over in Saudi for 6.5 million pounds, £30,000 a week. Very, very good signing for us in the end. Very, very happy to bring him in. He was absolutely brilliant and absolutely bargain as well. Maxim Daychuk as well was someone we signed at the very start for £3.5 million. To be honest, it just hasn't worked out, and we had to cut our losses. 1.9 million, the first signing we made that we sold for a loss, which obviously isn't the goal in these Moneyball rebuilds at all, but had to go ahead and happen. And something that also happened, which I'm absolutely heartbroken at, is Sven Sunter has left the club. He has gone to Al Shabab. So frustrating. Someone of this potential going over to play in Saudi is just infuriating. And the fact it was only 6 million is just the most frustrating thing in the world. It was his release clause. There was nothing I could do once I sat down and tried to talk to him again of course, he didn't want any of it. We can't compete with the money of Al Shabab, and he's very consistent. He's a great player, but for one season we had him, he was unbelievable, and we say goodbye. An absolute shame, but we'll have to get on and live with it. And Joseph Bakai has also left the club, and guess where he's gone? Saudi Arabia. £6 million is a good way of selling him. He's consistent, he likes big matches, he's very good, but another player leaving the club. We are building, you know, quarterfinals, round of 16s, doing very well, and it just seems like all of our players end up leaving us. But it's time for some signings of hopefully some players that won't leave us. Number one is Mads Eikrem Mikkelbust. This guy is a 20-year-old Norwegian goalkeeper. At the start of your saves, this guy is at Molde. He is unbelievable. He looks so good. He'll be like 16 on your saves, and he grows into be an absolute superstar. Great determination, extremely well-rounded goalkeeper. He's only 6 foot, which worries me a little bit, but he is extremely consistent, and he's very good, and hopefully can be a great player for us. So Mikkelbust, welcome to this club, and a bargain of just £3.8 million as well. We've actually spent £22 million this summer, so quite a lot of money. Obviously about £20 million brought in as well. Nathan Adelji is someone we have brought in from Hammarby over in Sweden. £2.1 million, looks very good. 24-year-old Ghanaian, good balance, good strength, great heading, marking and tackling, very determined, consistent. Hates big matches, but hopefully will be good for us. And he's not the only centre-back we went ahead and signed, of course. So we've gone in and brought in Vieri. He is a Brazilian youngster, just 22 years of age, signed from Gramao from the Brasiliano SI in the top division of Brazil. Very good, very well-rounded. Left-footed again, which I do like indeed. Was actually quite expensive at £7 million, but I think he can grow into being an absolute superstar, and capped at under 23s for Brazil, so he must be quite good. And speaking of quite good is Daniel Sand. This guy looks absolutely outrageous. 16 finishing, 15 composure, 20 jumping reach, and 13 heading at 6'3". I just couldn't not sign him. He's 5.25 million from AGF in Denmark. If we didn't sign him, he was going to become a thorn in our side. He's had 2 ridiculous seasons already, scoring 16 goals and 14 goals here in Denmark. He is just absolutely outrageous. And to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen to Vladislav Vaniat, but this guy is a superstar. I'll show you the team with preliminary lined up in, but Daniel Sand is going to have to play. £12 million value, outrageous striker. Hopefully can take us to the next level, as can hopefully Julian Aoude. This guy's an Argentinian left back that can hopefully replace Josef Bakai. This guy starts at LA Galaxy in your saves. Very good young left back. He went to Portland in this save, and we just signed him, and in 2 games so far, he's got a goal, he's got an assist, and a 7.75. So far looks like a very successful signing. He's consistent, he absolutely loves big matches, and is just 24 years of age, so still got that resale value, which we love to have. But it seems to me like Swedish wonder kids are the way to go. So Isak Vural from Hammarby yet again has come in to the team. This guy starts actually at Fenerbahce, I believe, and he's moved to Hammarby in this save. £1.7 million that we spent on him, and my god, does he look good. Again, very well rounded. Just an outrageous player in every single ability he's got. A replacement for Sven Sunjat. He probably won't be as good, but hopefully he can be something like him. Very cheap, 3.1 to 4.6 million pound value. Hopefully doesn't get poached in season 1 like Sven Sunjat as well. I've been scarred. I just hope we can keep hold of him. And my last signing is a regen, signed from Radniki in Serbia, is Nikola Petrovic. This guy again looks very good. 17 determination, 16 flair, and 16 leadership, 14 dribbling, very good physical, 6'4", an absolute specimen. He just isn't very consistent at all, but should be very good for us. Dropped a 7.24 with 14 assists just a season ago, and hopefully can be a superstar for us. It started very well for us, an assist in a game, and a 7.7 average rating, so hopefully he can be brilliant, and it leaves our team looking like so. Mikkelbust in goal, Danilo Vega, Julian Aoude, Vieri, and Adelj as the back 4, but this is where it starts to change a little bit. We've got the same 2 DMs of Holland and Darbo, but the front 4 is now Minshev on the right, Isak Vural in cam. Vaniat has been unbelievable up front, but we're now going to move him to left wing so Daniel Sand can come in and be our superstar striker. Is it going to mess everything up? I certainly hope not. There's still £65 million in the bank and £1 million in wage budget pretty much as well, and the finances are ridiculous. Obviously, this save will be available for you guys on Patreon. That link is just down below, and a massive thank you to the legends that are scrolling down the screen right now. You guys are literally helping change my life, making this content dream an actual reality, and making videos for you possible. You know, the whole setup has been pretty much paid for by the legends over on Patreon. So if you can help support the channel, that link is just down in the description, and you get the rebuild files at whatever point you want. I tend to upload the end of the rebuild, the middle of the rebuild, and the start of the rebuild, so you can pick up from where I have started and you can play on from this save. So if you want to go ahead and do that with the probably £150 million transfer budget we have at the end of this, you're more than welcome, and obviously it helps support me out massively as well. Let's get into it. The next season, can we do the quarterfinal of the Champions League again? It'll be difficult because we've lost everyone. I tell you what, that was a much worse season than we've had before. We were level on points with Bromby, and we won the league by 2 goals on goal difference. Right, we have been absolutely ripped this season. A lot of players have left us, which we do know. A very big wake-up call. 67 points level with Bromby. A very, very difficult season. We did go ahead and win the DBU Polican, winning 3-0 against Viborg, which is very, very impressive. And of course, as we look at the Champions League, with what's just happened in the league, it's going to be a lot more difficult. League phase, we come 21st and qualified, which is fantastic. We met up against Arsenal in the knockout playoff round, a very strong side. We were lucky enough to get the game underway with a Vladislav Vaniat goal from the penalty spot, but in the 80th minute at home, Nico found Declan Rice to find Zinchenko, to find Charles de Ketelaere to make it 1-0, and that was at our ground. So we had to go to the Emirates with any hope of getting past Arsenal. And it got off to an absolutely outrageous start. Julian Awude with a ridiculous run and finish into the top left corner in the 20th minute puts us 1-0 up. And guess what? A mistake at the back. Vladislav Vaniat bursts onto it. We may have signed Daniel Sand, but Vladislav Vaniat is just that guy. Makes it 2-0, and Arsenal are going to get a goal back in the 92nd minute. Cool to see Ethan Nwaneri with the goal. The absolute wonder kid himself has developed to be a starter for Arsenal, but Arsenal are knocked out in the by Kopenhagen in the knockout playoff round, which is fantastic, and it means we're in to the round of 16. But guess who we've got? Last season, we lost to Barcelona 6-2 on aggregate. This season, let's see what we can do. Well, Pedri is going to go ahead and get him off to a fantastic start. He starts out on this left-hand side, and this goal is going to be outrageous, isn't it? A perler into the top corner in the 26th minute, but we weren't done. Julian Awude finds Arda on the left-hand side. Awude whips it in, and Pontus Darbo knocks it home at the back stick to make it 1-1. Noah Darvic, another wonder kid for Barcelona, comes through and scores in the penalty spot before Vladislav Vaniat does the same for us and makes this game 2-2. We've done it away at the Emirates. Can we do it away at the Nou Camp? Well, in the 58th minute, Daniel Sand gets us underway, and we are leading the tie. 82 minutes in, a wonder kid called Pires drives through and scores a goal and sends it to extra time. And in the 94th minute, a wonder kid called Pires blasts it home to make it 2-1. And in the 110th minute, Eric Garcia finds Asensio, who runs on the line, finds Mark Guehi, another wonder kid. It's 3-1. We're out against Barcelona. Again, very, very frustrating, but it is so cool to see wonder kids like Ethan Nwaneri, Noah Darvic, Mark Guehi, all coming through the academies of their clubs and actually playing, which is absolutely awesome. Now, obviously, round of 16, less than we got last season, but Barcelona, the team we lost to, a much tighter game. Maybe it wasn't the worst season overall. We still won the Polkan, we still won the Super League, we got to round of 16 of the Champions League. Now, the superstars this season that we are going to go ahead and look at is Vladislav Vaniat, Martin Minchev, Daniel Sand, Isak Vural, who've done an outrageous job at replacing Svetsunya and isn't wanted. Hallelujah, because this guy is fantastic at 11 million to 12 million pound value and looks brilliant. He can play up front, he can play in cam. Again, someone to you guys to look out for on your saves. And Nikola Petrovic, the 6'4" winger with 13 assists. Dunia Vega with 12 assists. Where's Oscar Hoyland? I've lost Mr. Oscar. He's down here, 8 starts, 23 off the bench. Has sort of fizzled into a bit of a backup for us, but 9 million pounds value, might end up leaving the club. He's played 96 games for Copenhagen. I think he'd take that if you offered them that in real life right now. Hopefully he can go on in real life and become a superstar. But the next season, Let's take another step, shall we? Hopefully not backwards like the last couple. We've sold our first regen. Christopher Egg is someone that looks absolutely brilliant. We haven't really seen much of him here at Copenhagen. He's played 23 games, got a goal and assist last season, and Stade de Reims come in for £8 million, and it makes sense to say goodbye to someone that performed at an okay level. Could be a superstar, very good determination, passing, technique, bravery, natural fitness, but £8 million for someone which is probably going to be a backup for us. Yeah, we'll take that. Goodbye, Christopher. Thank you for the £8 million. And our next sale is a sad one. Frank Canawate, now 29 years of age, has been an incredible player for 4 years for us. We've lost £1.8 million, but I think he's made that money back in how well he has performed. He has gone to join RB Salzburg over in Austria. Thank you, Frank. Again, someone for you guys to go ahead and look up on your saves. An absolute superstar for us. Has been absolutely brilliant. Right, first time to go ahead and make is Mauti Lundkau. Guess what? He's a Swedish youngster. Of course he is. Signed for £1.4 million from BK Häcken. Yet again, they need to be a little bit of a feeder club for us. Great acceleration, great dribbling, first touch, pace, stretcher. DM or Cam could be brilliant in both. Hopefully a superstar. Samuel Skijdal. Again, pronunciations, please don't judge me. This guy is from ODD. And remember who we signed from them last time? Bakke was a superstar. Hopefully this guy can be good as well. He's 24 years of age. Very, very cheap, but very, very consistent and likes big matches. A backup left back, hopefully, is going to be good enough for us. Andre Santos from Chelsea is our next signing. What a signing this is. An absolute coup. And guess what? He was free. We found him because he just dropped a 7 average rating for Blackburn in the Championship and was interested in coming to Copenhagen. £22,000 a week. He loves big matches. He's consistent and a very, very good signing if you ask me. He's had a cap for Brazil and just looks absolutely brilliant. And for a free transfer, we will 100% take Justin Santos into the club. Justin Chi is our second Justin. Justin Santos? His name's Andre. Justin Chi is on my mind. Brand new centre-back, American, 9 caps for the USA. Looks absolutely brilliant. Very well-rounded. Can play right-back or centre-back. Is going to be a centre-back for us. A bit on the expensive side at £6 million, but with this well-rounded stats, being 6'1", very, very fast, right-back, consistent, is expected to pay that sort of money. And we even went ahead and spent more than that on a brand new CDM or cam in Obed Vargas. This guy's come through the Seattle Sounders Academy, which is quite exciting. Another 18 capped USA player, consistent, doesn't particularly love big matches, but just 22 years of age, looks absolutely fantastic. He's had some very, very good seasons over in the MLS, and for 10 million, now got a value of 17 to 21. He looks absolutely outrageous, but there was a gap in the market and we saw a superstar at an expensive price, which I just couldn't snuff my nose up at. This guy's come through the academy at Antwerp. We spent £21 million on Luca Van Dam, and it goes against Moneyball rules. I accept that, but a 19-year-old with a value of £42 million signed for 21, who has had 2 very good consecutive seasons over in Belgium. It's too much money to spend. I accept it. But when he's this good, with that good pace, either-footed, 15 dribbling, 17 bravery, 16 technique, 6'2", comes into now front three of Vladislav Vanya, Daniel Sand, and Luca Van Dam. Very, very exciting, and our team is looking a hell of a lot stronger than it did at the start of last season. Mikkel Bust in goal, Danilo Vega, Justin Che, Adjerj, and Justin Awude as our back four. Darbo and Andre Santos in DM. Vladislav Vanya, we're training to be a right winger. Varel in cam, Van Dam at left wing, and Daniel Sand in up top. The potential here at the squad, again, absolutely outrageous. It always will be. Full of 5-star players come through the academy, which are all absolutely ridiculous. And just to show you, the under-19s is the exact same. The B team is full of older players, which you can't really go ahead and sell, which is annoying me because they're not getting enough value. We're overall building a super team here at Copenhagen. Season 6. Should we try and win the Champions League? Round of 16 against Atletico Madrid. Yep, we smashed that too. And we got extremely nice in the quarterfinals as well, where we faced against Nice. Martin Minchev found Pontus Darbo to make it 1-0. And in the away leg, we're going to go ahead and grab a 2-0 lead. Minchev finding Awude at the back stick, who gets it in to our brand new superstar Van Dam. And away in France, a fantastic start. A 2-0 league. Can we head on to our home stadium and get us into the semi-final? Well, it's not going to be plain sailing if Alexander Mitrovic has got anything to say about. He goes ahead and gets a goal back to make it 2-1. Justin Che then finds Vladislav Vanya down the left-hand side, who whips an unbelievable ball in to that man Martin Minchev, who, even though we've got superstar after superstar, is still proving to be an unbelievable player for us. He gets on the ball again, finds Andre Santos, who pearls an absolute screamer into the top bins to make us clear winners at this point. I've got no idea what the score is. Alex Mitrovic has still got something to say about it, finds Diop at the back stick to make it 2 goals to Nice. We're going to go ahead and get our third of the game here. Danilo down the right-hand side finds Martin Minchev, finds Vladislav Vanya in the middle to make it 5-2 on aggregate, and we're going to go ahead and make it 6-2 on aggregate. Lunchkow finds Petrovic, he finds Vanya, and he pokes it home. 4-2 on the night, 6-2 on aggregate. Champions League semi-finals for FC Copenhagen. What a rise this has been. And we were staying in France, facing up against PSG. This was going to be tough. Hakimi finds Xavi Simons to make it 1-0. And there's this young guy, I think his name is Kylian Mbappe, still at PSG, and scores to make it 2-0. At home this game, and sadly we're not going to go ahead and win. Vladislav Vanya finds Lunkau, who gets it 2-1, and it sets up an interesting tightly Parc de France. If we can pull something off here, the biggest underdog story you've ever seen is going to come to light, and we're going to reach the Champions League final. But Darwin Núñez, Kylian Mbappe and Xavi Simons decides to batter us 6-0. We had only one shot, and we were still quite some way off a team like PSG. The underdog story, I tell you what, very impressive. Semi-finals of the Champions League. We are making steady progress, but when you're playing up against Darwin Núñez, who bags a hat-trick, Mbappe, who bags 2, and Xavi Simons, who's just one of the best players in the world at this point, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So a shame to get knocked out at that stage, but a very, very strong season for us indeed. Went ahead and won the Polken again. Only one season we have dropped that to FC Norgesland. And in the 3F Superliga, the league is definitely getting stronger because we got 68 points, but semi-finals of the Champions League, I think either we're doing less in the league because we're so concentrated on getting us up in the Champions League, or we just, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. The league might be getting a lot stronger. I believe we have added an extra European slot because Norgesland are now qualifying for the Champions League, even though they're coming second. And actually, as we look at the competition reputation, as the save started, we were the 17th best competition, and we are now the 9th best. We have overtaken the likes of the Scottish Premiership, the Swiss League, the Belgian League. You know, we were down here just below the Championship, and in the Czech Bulgarian League, we're now 9th. We're now just behind the Turkish League, Portuguese League, the Dutch League. We are taking it to, we're not just building Copenhagen at this point, we are building Denmark. And while we're on this chin, though, should we have a look how they've done in Europe? Not very good, to be honest. They got to the Euros where they lost in the second round to Switzerland. World Cup, they got quarterfinal by Argentina in extra time, which is quite unlucky, to be honest. And in the Euros again, second rounded by Serbia, and then 2030 will be the World Cup again, but not the greatest for Denmark. They are the 10th best world ranking team. I don't know if that's grown very much. We're of course the best team by an absolute country mile. The league is now a 3.5 star rep. I'm very, very happy with how things have been going recently. And actually, whilst you look at this season, how impressive it was, you look at our squad and there is 3 positions missing: goalkeeper, cam and striker, and that is because they were all poached away from us in the middle of last season. Isak Vuval went to Al Qasaida for £9 million. Daniel Sand went to Al Wada for £10 million. And Mads Eikram Mikkelbust for £11 million. All release clauses, all in January. And we still got to the semi-finals of the Champions League without our 3 best players. So maybe that's why we had a little drop off in the league. Unbelievable, though, we still managed to keep that level of performance going in the league. Our goalkeeper must have been a 2-star here in Mags Kappenberger. Our cam was, we just saw him play loads of games, Mate Lingo. And our striker, I imagine Vladislav Vanya would have gone back up top, Minchev on the right-hand side, and it would have been Van Dam on the left-hand side. So we lost 3 superstars and still got to the semi-finals, which makes you think, if we can keep our players this season, go ahead and buy some, very good wonder kids and Moneyball players at £77 million transfer budget, £1.25 million wage budget. Could season 7 be the season we actually make it to the Champions League final and win it all? All with Vladislav Vanya up front, who has been an absolute superstar this whole rebuild. 82 goals and 137 appearances. it's going to be interesting. Let's see if we can keep hold of our players and add some superstars to make this Copenhagen team the next level and winners of the Champions League, because that is the next step. So we have spent £30 million this year again, but sales like Nathan Adelj going over to Saudi at Khalid, where I think literally every single one of our players has gone to Saudi Arabia when they have been sold. £7.5 million. We'll take the big amount of money for him. He's now worth 30 and is a superstar. Again, on your saves, this guy's at Lorient or Hammarby potentially. Go ahead and find him. He is a fantastic young Ghanaian centre-back and has progressed into a real good player. Jamie Cumming, who has been brilliant for us in goal, has actually left to go ahead and join Brentford. He has been decent over there as well, played a few games in the Premier League, was on loan there the second half of last season. They've now signed him for £2.7 million. Obviously, we replaced him with Mikkel Bust, who has also gone ahead and left, but we have progressed Jamie Cumming into being a very good goalkeeper. Our superstar cam last season, after Vuval left, was Malte Lunking. He's also at the club to go to Spezia, which is sad that he's now gone as well. And finally, we have managed to sell Alexander Simmelhack. He has gone to Darmstadt in Germany. I feel bad. We've ruined this guy's career. He could have been an absolute superstar. On your saves, give him a chance. He could be absolutely brilliant. But it's time to go in to the signings we have made. And number one is young Portuguese man David Bessa. This guy comes from Vitória Guimarães in Portugal. 16 finishing, 16 long shots, 16 technique. Not the most determined player in the world, not the most consistent, but for a bargain fee of £3.2 million, I think he is going to be a brilliant player for us and a backup cam, because we have signed an absolute superstar and an absolute outlier in the game is Milorad Milovanovic. This guy is a Serbian cam who I believe looks like one of the best cams we can get. He is very good at finishing, very determined, very good physically. We signed him for 975k. He just scored 21 goals in the top division of Serbia, and we signed him for under £1 million. Only has a £2 million value. I think we might have found someone which is going to absolutely kill it for super cheap. He's also basically both-footed, he's consistent, and a very good player, so welcome in Milorad. And again, he has been found from the Wonder Kid searches and from the Moneyball scouting, as has João Victor. This guy's a young Brazilian right winger who is real and is going to be on your saves over at Santos. He's got 16 crossing, very good agility, acceleration, pace, determination, flair, tricky little Brazilian winger. £8.5 million after scoring 7 goals and getting 8 assists last season. Hopefully João Victor can be a superstar. And the last piece of the puzzle is an unbelievable goalkeeper, Thiago Henrique from Palmeiras. Now again, expensive, £14.5 million, the same as Van Dam. A lot of money, but can hopefully take us to the next step. We lost Mikkel Buck, who was an absolute bargain, for £10 million. We've just spent that money on Thiago Henrique. Hopefully he can be good enough. He looked good enough to be our superstar goalkeeper. And team-wise, we're looking at Thiago Henrique in goal. Danilo Vega, who's been here from pretty much season 2. Justin Che and Vieira centre-back. Julian Awude at left-back. Obed Vargas and Pontus Darbo in DM, with João Victor right-wing. Milovanovic in cam. Van Dam left-wing. And Vladislav Vanya, the superstar from the start, up front. Finances wise, £200 million in the bank, £63 million in transfer budget. Again, to show you guys sort of what we are competing against in the league, we are spending a lot more money than everyone else. Our wage budget is now £26 million. But if you remember, Copenhagen's was 8 and ours was 15. So if anything, the gap has changed a little bit. But the league is certainly getting a hell of a lot better, which is great to see. We are all not only developing Copenhagen, but also the league. Season 7, the next logical step is the final of the Champions League. Let's see if we can do it. Well, the league phase didn't quite go as well as it did last season, and we end up in the knockout playoff round, where a 0-0 draw away against Atletico Madrid bring us here to Denmark, where Petrovic gets off to a great start before Nketiah finds Buani down the left-hand side for Atletico Madrid, and he makes it 1-1, and the time was in the balance until that man Martin Minchev from the start has been a superstar for us, blasts it home, and Van Dam finds Justin Chade on the right-hand side. He gets down to the byline and he finds Martin Minchev again to make it 3-1, and we get past Atletico Madrid, and that man Martin, again being an absolute hero for us, sets up a round of 16 tie against a team we've not faced off as of yet, and that is the German giants FC Bayern Munich, where they're of course going to get off to a fantastic start. Kjaergaard down the left hand side gets it into Schmidt, who blasts it home to make it 1-0. But the Copenhagen boys were not finished there. Kjærgaard finds Fatinchani, and Eriksson intercepts that, finds Vladislav Vaniat, the guy from the start, to make it 1-1 in this tie. Justin Che finds David Besser, finds a great reverse ball to João Victor to find Vladislav Vaniat to make it 2-1. And João Victor is going to go ahead and find a ball to Justin Che on the right-hand side. Back into João Victor, shoots into the back of the net. 3-1. Tie against Bayern Munich. Against them, we've absolutely smashed it. We have had a very, very good performance there. And we're going to go ahead to the Allianz over in Germany. We are going to lose, but only 1-0, which means it's 3-2 in aggregate, and Copenhagen are into the quarterfinals of the Champions League yet again. And it was last year's semi-finalist PSG that we were up against, and we went in our first game against PSG at the Parc des Princes, and Danilo got us off to a fantastic start. Bruno Fernandes with a massive error there. We ended up picking his pocket, and João Victor makes it 2-0 in 19 minutes, and it wasn't all done. Vladislav Vaniat wanted his goal to make it 3-0. But that man, Bruno Fernandes, is about to have a Champions League performance of a lifetime. Xavi Simons finds him in the box. He must be about 34 years of age now, Bruno. He's still got a lot in him. Ederson finds Nuno Mendes to find Bruno Fernandes. He drifts with our player, gets into the box, and makes it 3-2. And he wasn't done. A Champions League quarter-final hat-trick for Bruno Fernandes. Nuno Mendes finds him in the box, and it's 3-0. And we bottled a 3-goal league. We had to go back to our stadium and see if we could do anything. It was going to be hard because that was absolutely heartbreaking for us. To be 3-0 up and bottle it was extremely, extremely difficult. And it was made even harder by Ousmane Diomande getting PSG off to the perfect start with a backstick header. But they got way too confident, and Donnarumma decided to pass it straight to Vladislav Vaniat to put us 1-0 in this leg, but it wasn't done there. Kobenhavn goes ahead and makes it 2-1 in this leg. But again, there was a lot of fight left in us. 56th minute, a ball in. Danilo Vega heads it home, and the game went all the way to extra time, where Vargas on the ball finds Olsen, a regen to the left-hand side, to Petrovic, to Vladislav Vaniat of all people in the 108th minute, makes it 3-2, 6-5 on aggregate. We're into the semi-finals against Liverpool, where, believe it or not, we kick off at Anfield of all places, and we're going to have a performance like no other. João Victor makes it 1-0 in 12 minutes. Petrovic whips the ball into the back stick, and Vieri heads it home for 2-0. A cross from Danilo finds Petrovic, the edge of the box. He finds Jensen to Vladislav Vaniat for 3-0. Liverpool are going to go ahead and get a goal back. Mark Gurhey finds João Neves to find Dominic Szoboszlai on the right-hand side to make it 3-1. But we weren't even done. We wanted a fourth. Martin Minchev finds Justin Che to Vladislav Vaniat to Danilo Vega on the right-hand side to make it 4-1. Away at Anfield, a Copenhagen result like nothing else makes it near impossible to bottle this. Surely we're going to the final. And Kim Olsen, a regen, starts us off to Pontus Darbo, to Mosgaard, to Kim Olsen. A screamer in the 71st minute to make it 5-1 on aggregate. Liverpool were not done. Trent finds a ball to Bjork to make it a ball into Marcus Leonardo for 5-2, and one more goal for Liverpool to make it 5-3 was not going to be enough. Diaby on the right hand side, Gakpo in the box, somehow ends up eventually going in. 5-3, a Champions League final for Copenhagen. I can't believe we have built this team using the Moneyball approach, signing some wonder kids into the stage where we are in a Champions League final. It is absolutely ridiculous. But guess who we're going to face up against? We lost once to them in the quarterfinals, once in the round of 16. It's that team, FC Barcelona. And we're going to get off to a great start in 15 minutes. Petrovic to the left-hand side is going to get into the box and finds Vladislav Vaniat for 1-0. He is my new absolute hero. Rafa Leao finds Vajlev to Farre, finds Pedri, finds an unbelievable ball to his best mate Gavi, and he pokes it home for 1-1. Could we bounce back? Vladislav Vaniat can bounce back. He gets a brace in the Champions League final, and a fantastic start for us. And Julian Awude on the left-hand side is on the ball, finds João Victor in the back stick for 3-1 to Copenhagen. And Barcelona had no response until the 90th minute, where Koundé finds Pablo Torre, back to Koundé, into Vazelj to make it 3-2. But it was too much, too little, too late. FC Copenhagen, Champions League winners, 7 seasons. And it's all down to this man, Vladislav Vaniat. What a player, what a signing. We've actually gone ahead and done it. We've won the Champions League with Copenhagen in 7 years. 44 goals in 48 games, this guy. I've never heard of him until this rebuild. Best believe he is going to be one of my favourite players of all time on Football Manager, Vladislav Vanya. And to cap it off, of course, we went ahead and won the league again. That is 10 in a row now, I think, for Kopenhagen. 9 in a row for Kopenhagen. 66 points. Vanyat with 22 goals. Pontus Darbo, Danilo Vega, and Joao Victor as the top average ratings. Unbelievable season. It would be wrong if we didn't go ahead and win the DVU Pokal in this one as well. A 3-3 game against Brøndby. Went ahead and won it nevertheless. We dropped one trophy in this against Norgesland, which was very annoying in 25-26. But a ridiculous team we have built. We have won the Champions League. I actually can't believe it. Vanyat with 44 goals, absolutely carried. Pontus Darbo, 17 and 8. Luca Van Dam, 16 and 10. Martin Minchev, I just kept signing players to make a better right winger. We could never find anyone better. This guy just kept performing, kept scoring, kept smashing it. Martin Minchev, what a player. 12 goals, 11 assists. Joao Victor, 11 goals, 25 assists. Also absolutely brilliant. Signed from, I believe, Santos in Brazil. He is real. Go ahead, find him and sign him. He's brilliant. Danilo Vega, so cheap at the start of this rebuild. Signed from Rekia. Has been fantastic for us. Replaced Elias Gila like it was nobody's business. A superstar Portuguese right back. Nikola Petrovic was a very good region. We signed Julian Awude, was the Argentinian left back. 7 goals, 11 assists. Absolutely brilliant. I can't believe we've done it. 7 seasons, the year's 2030. Copenhagen are Champions League winners. 7-time back-to-back Denmark League winners. And 6 trophies out of 7 in the Polycon. If you have enjoyed this Moneyball rebuild, go ahead and watch the Porto one down there. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.